Well, hello everybody, at least six of you so far. I apologize profusely. I got caught up in the rocket launch and the time got away from me. And oh my goodness, I got outside, I launched the drone, and I figured, okay, I got 15 minutes on the drone. Let me launch it in case the rocket launches. And it never did. I never saw it anyway. Um, anyway, Sorry about that. And we'll have a quick speaking of Zane tonight since I've put you 40 minutes late than the normal already. So thank you for being there. Ken, Andrew, and Paula, hello, y'all. Good to have you in here, represented from all over the place. And I sure appreciate you joining. And I don't see when you join as a reminder. So if you want me to know that you are there, put something in the chat and I will see it. We stream to my Facebook page, to the Speaking of Zane Facebook group, and to my YouTube channel. So wherever you're watching, put a chat in there. Let me know you're there. Matt Aaron is there. We've got another Facebook user. That might be Jim Miller. But good to have everybody in there tonight for sure for Speaking of Zane. And I better let Lori know that we are live. I did not tell her I was shifting my time. There's Amy. Hey, Amy. Steve Shirley's in there. Two of my goodest buddies. And it's good to have you in there. We got a few updates on the Cemetery Challenge and the Think of Vet Challenge to go through and a few upcoming activities. But I want to make sure Lori knows that I'm on now. Okay. All right. Well, how is everybody doing? I hope you have had a good week. Um, I have pretty decent week. Jim Miller's in there. I got Jim. Hey, Jim. And we are leading up to Memorial Day and a solemn day to recognize those that we lost, those that paid the ultimate price. And so consequently, there's a lot of different activities going on that I'm trying to track and be involved in a few. And still no word on the traditional mass placement of flags at the national cemeteries and coinciding with usually what is a nice service of some type. But I cannot find anywhere on any of the pages that I follow, the VA or the National Cemetery National Cemetery Administration, on the local Georgia National Cemetery page. Lori has called them a couple of times. Nobody knows anything. I don't know if they're going to try to go through Memorial Day quietly, but you would think now that the CDC has changed their recommendations on the masks and all of that, that we wouldn't have any trouble. But maybe now they're thinking we're so close to Memorial Day that nothing can be coordinated. Well, we proved that wrong last year. Lori put together an entire operation in under a week, a rogue operation, I might add, and was able to gather 3,000 flags and 30 or 40 volunteers. So we know that it can be done. We'll see. Amy, so Amy, is the cemetery there telling you guys that it's a go for you? If so, that's encouraging, and I would say everybody, if you have any ideas about participating somewhere, check locally. Check locally. Amy, I'm anxious to hear what you know there. Well, there's some other things coming up. There's actually an event at going on right now that's been going on all across the country. It started back in April, and it's going to continue through Memorial Day. And it's called Carry the Load. There's an organization that's making their way through over 100 national cemeteries across the country. And they are on the East Coast right now, and they will be making their way down to Georgia National Cemetery um, this coming Wednesday, which is May the 19th. So I've carved out a couple of hours to run up there in the middle. It's in the middle of the day. They're doing a couple of stops in Georgia, Marietta National Cemetery and Georgia National Cemetery. So I imagine that Lori and I will run up there to be with Zane as they run through Georgia National Cemetery, and they'll be making their way from Georgia up to Tennessee, back down into Alabama, back up into Tennessee, over into Arkansas, Mississippi, blah, blah, blah. They finish up in Dallas, I believe, on Memorial Day. So we're going to do that this Wednesday. And then we're going to go down to Savannah on the I think the Monday the 24th we'll go down. The 25th is a Tuesday, and that's the day that they're going to place 10,000 flags on the grounds of the National Museum of the Mighty 8th Air Force down there in Savannah. And we're going to go down and help place those flags. They're going to place 26,000 flags. If you were on with us when we had Jane Grismer on, she told us all about that. 26,000, one for each airman lost from the 8th Air Force during World War II. So Lori and I will get some good pictures while we're down there. And I'm going to take my drone, and I'm not going to ask for permission. I'm just going to launch the drone at some point and see if I can get some aerial footage of all those flags on the grounds of the museum. It's going to absolutely be beautiful, and I'll let you know how that goes. Speaking of drones, I took my drone down to Georgia National Cemetery today and got a couple of flights in. My drone is out of calibration, and I had a pretty difficult time flying it today, and I thought at one point that I was going to lose it. And it actually came down on its own, somewhat controlled, and landed right near Zane and just missed a tree by a few feet, and I didn't have any control over it. So something's up with my calibration. I've got to do a better job of that. But anyway, I'm going to look through some of those pics and videos tonight maybe, and I might post some on Speaking of Zane Facebook group. I enjoy them. It's great to see an aerial view of anything, but it's really awesome to see the National Cemetery there. Okay, let's see. Amy says she spoke to the volunteer coordinator there on Saturday. That is outstanding, Amy. I'm looking forward to following that, and that's encouraging. That means everybody needs to check with their local cemetery if you're close to one and you're planning to do that. And we'll keep trying with Georgia National and see what happens, but stay tuned for that. Okay, well, let's see. Since I've been trying to follow this rocket launch for the last week, it's been a week and 2 days actually, they've been trying to launch this rocket out of their Wallops facility in Virginia. And the only reason I've been interested in it is it's going to release some barium to create these green and purple violet that's visible all across the eastern seaboard and as far inland as Alabama and Tennessee. And that's why I launched the drone. I wanted to get up above all the pine trees, but I'm looking back at their website. I don't think it launched, which means that was the last opportunity that they had until sometime later in the year. All these circumstances have to be just right. The timing and the moon and the clouds, and it's just a mathematical nightmare, I'm sure, but it's if you like that kind of stuff, it's absolutely fascinating, and I do. All these things have to come together. But anyway, I'm going to do a quick look after and make sure what happened. I think it was probably because of the visibility in Bermuda, which is where they're filming. That was where the primary investigation of the experiment was to occur. Anyway, hey Daryl, Jonathan, hey, how you doing? All right, good to have everybody in there. We're just shooting the bull here, speaking of Zane, and talking about Memorial Day. We got some activities coming up. I wrote the Memorial Day address or email for our president of our company to deliver. I wrote a draft of it anyway. I haven't gotten back any markups on it. I gave it to a couple of my peers to take a look at. But and then we're doing a lunch and learn for our veterans organization at work on the 27th, I think it is, and we're do an hour-long lunch and learn, and we're gonna call on. I've lined up a representative from each of the branches of the service, as well as a military spouse and a Gold Star family member, and we're going to hear 1 or 2 minutes from each of them about our theme. What does Memorial Day mean to me? So it'll take us about an hour to get through that, but it'll be kind of cool. I think I'll be able to record it. Maybe I can publish it. I don't think there'll be anything. Anyway, I'm the host of it. I don't know why, but they asked me to MC it. I mean, so I'm going to do that, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. So, all right. So, because of the NASA rocket launch, I donned my NASA hat yet again, and that consequently is the hat of the week. NASA. We do a hat of the week because I'm a hat guy. I got over 100 and some odd hats hanging over there in that room. And anyway, I try to wear a hat that has something to do with what's going on in our world. So this week, it's hat of the week is NASA. All right. Well, let's see. What do we have in military history here? I'll go back to the comments. I figured out last week I can show some of your comments on the screen there. So as I see some that might be of interest to the rest, and if you know, I'll highlight them there on the screen. And by the way, that's the only way they'll show up on the YouTube channel. So I need to start doing that more. So this week in military history, just a couple of things. On May the 16th of 1863, the Union defeated the Confederates at Vicksburg, Mississippi. That one stuck out to me because on one of our trips over to see Charlotte when she was at Texas A&M, we stopped by Vicksburg on the way home, and I toured the battlefield, and I've since read a book about, well, I bought the book ahead of time, read the book to prepare, visited the battlefield, and I've watched a documentary on it. Fascinating battle. If you're into that kind of stuff, which I am, just incredible occurrence there. Vicksburg in Mississippi. But anyway, that the Union defeated the Confederates May the 16th of 1863. And then, of course, May the 15th. Yesterday was Armed Forces Day. So that's the day that we celebrate our armed forces. How about that? And it's on a Saturday every year. And it's sort of like we're celebrating and saying thank you to those that are serving. And of course, Veterans Day is for those of us that have served. And then Memorial Day is for those that have served and ultimately passed and paid the ultimate price there. So that was yesterday. And hopefully you got a chance to thank somebody that is serving. Aunt Cindy's there watching over in Alabama. Brenda Lusk is watching up in Michigan. Jim Miller. Let's see. Yeah, Jim, that's funny. Yeah, so there are many more today, Jim, than I had hanging in my garage. I had, when we were stationed at Mildenhall, I had a garage, and I would put a nail in the rafters there, and I'd hang all my hats across the rafters in the garage. Geez, I'd almost forgot about that, Jim. But I've always maintained quite a few hats. Just a ball cap guy. And fortunately, it hasn't really, a lot of people, it'll turn them bald, but I've got good genes in the hair department. My dad's got a full head of hair. So anywho, all right. Veteran Cemetery Challenge. Like I mentioned, we had some visits this week. Amy, thank you so much for the work that you did out at Omaha National there. I know you guys had a cleanup day. That's always great. And the thing about Omaha National is there's sort of a major thoroughfare that runs right past. And, you get the normal trash that you would get from, a major roadway. And it looks like, Amy, that you guys did a lot of cleanup in that tall grass around the perimeter there in the intersection. I forget which road that is, Amy. I always want to say Cornhusker, but I know it's not. But I know it's the road that goes down by the ballpark. But so Amy visited Omaha National. Jimbo also visited Omaha National, and he has to go right past there to do some of his errands, and has gotten into a nice rhythm of stopping there and seeing our friend Todd Vanderwerken, who passed way too early just a couple years ago, fellow crew member on the Airborne Command Post. All right, Steve was there too. All right, Steve, good job, buddy. Can always count on Steve and Amy to be up to something good. That's for sure, and that's good to hear. Lori and I look for any opportunity to get up there to Georgia National. They have it's not just the staff there, but they have like I don't know what you call it, a volunteer, like a board, a volunteer group there, a local volunteer group anyway. And they have their own Facebook page. So I try to watch the different activities going on there. So Amy visited Omaha National. Jimbo visited Omaha National. Daryl, did I say hi, Daryl? I saw you jump in there. Hey, Daryl. Daryl visited Jefferson Barracks National. Okay, highway. Amy says, I didn't know who you were talking to, Amy. Hey, 50. She says it's Highway 50. That's Highway 50. Okay, thank you, Amy. Let's see. So Daryl, Lori visited Georgia National during the week, and she, as she always does, she put some thematic. I don't even know if that's a word. Flowers on Ed Zane's headstone. She put some nice sort of patriotic flower arrangement there for Memorial Day that's upcoming, and they look very nice. And she recovered a bunch of stuff from out there. There's a bunch of coins out there. A lot of people have been visiting that young man, and there's a jar full of stars and all kind of different things that were spread out there. Lori scooped them up and brought them home. Otherwise, they would just get run over by the mower out there. But just interesting. I tell you, we couldn't be more encouraged by the fact that people are visiting our son. What about that? And so she got the flowers out there during the week. I can't remember which day that was, but and then I made a trip out there today. It was just so beautiful, and I had caught up on a lot of things that I've been doing around the house and work and stuff. And I said, well, let me get out of here for a couple hours, and I took the drone down there, and just a beautiful day here in Georgia, 79, 80 degrees, no humidity. A great day to be outside, especially there. It's up on a hilltop overlooking the North Georgia mountains to the north. But I'll look through the video footage and see if any of it's worth posting later. And for those of you that haven't seen it, it's quite interesting. Let's see. Jonathan says, I enjoyed the American Heritage Museum in Hudson, Massachusetts today. Oh, awesome. Brought my grandfather, who's a vet, and my father-in-law, who's a Cold War vet. All right. Outstanding. Good job, Jonathan. And you were out on the golf course this week too, if I remember right. Good for you, getting out and loving life. And that's a great. I haven't been to that museum. I've heard of it up there in Mass, but I haven't been yet. I'll look forward to adding that one to my list. Thank you for sharing that with us. Good stuff. All right, let's see. So with those visits, what did I say? We had a total of 5 veteran cemetery visits this week. How about that? Amy, Jim, Daryl, Guy, Lori. Yeah, 5. And that took our count up to 411. Remember, just a couple weeks ago, we eclipsed the 400 mark. We're at 411 visits to 132 different and unique veteran cemeteries. And I mentioned the Carry the Load event that'll be going through there this week. We'll go up there and get another visit in. And, kind of a cool thing, this kind of fits in both categories. My daughter Hannah has a friend, Army vet Michael Neese, who lives down near Savannah somewhere, and he's been on this, he's a runner, kind of like Aaron. Remember we had Aaron on from Michigan, running to honor. Well, Michael Neese is part of another organization that runs to raise awareness for PTSD and veteran suicide and all kind of stuff. And they're in the middle of some sort of marathon challenge or something right now, and he's running every day and honoring a different veteran each day that he runs. And he ran. You may have seen me share it on Speaking of Zane, but he didn't. He changed it up a little when he recognized Zane this past week, and he put on a 30-pound like flak jacket and did a 2.222 mile ruck march in honor of Zane, and I thought that was awesome of him. He's going to be running for Zane in an event that's coming up later in the year, and I've got to get all the details about it. I think it ends at Fort Benning in Georgia, and we'll probably go down there for that. I have a lot of reasons to. I want to visit the Infantry Museum down there, which is supposed to be just world class. Anyway, so I'm tracking that, and I hope to get this guy Michael Neese on as a guest, and he can tell us all about it. So you don't have to listen to me try to secondhand it. So stay tuned. I'll try to get him on here with us. And you probably saw, it's been a little bit since we announced one of these, but there was another veteran that was identified, a fallen veteran that was finally identified, whose remains were finally identified, happens to be a sailor in Pearl Harbor. He was on the Oklahoma. Fireman Second Class Martin D. Young. And finally identified. And how long has it been? Over 70 years. And he was laid to rest yesterday in his hometown, Kentucky. So, wow. What does that say about a culture that does not give up on that kind of thing? And all these years later, we're still trying to make sure that we account for everybody and get them to their rightful place and provide closure for their families. That's an amazing thing that we do as a nation, as a culture, as a country. So I always enjoy reporting those. Matt says they got a lot done this weekend. Weekends are good for getting things done, I'll tell you that. You got some vegetables, sunflowers, a kid's play structure. Yeah, 80 years, yeah, Ken. That's why anyone that's still alive is generally about 100 now, except 98, 99, and 100 are your younger World War II vets. And of course, Ken's father was at Pearl Harbor during the attack. John echoes that the Infantry Museum is awesome. Yeah, it's won all kind of awards and just supposed to be a wonderful place. I know they do a great job down there, and I think that's the venue for basic training graduates and all that, graduations and all that. So let's see, what else? You got a play structure up, Matt. Oh, good. That's freeze good, all out of free wood. Oh, excellent. You're kind of a handy guy, I know. That's excellent. Good stuff. Well, let's see. What do we got next? The Thank a Vet Challenge. We had, coming into the broadcast tonight, we had 5 that I knew about. Let me tell you about those. Well, those were from Lori. Lori calculated that she had 5 thank yous over the last 2 weeks, but she joined us late last week because I forgot to tell her I was on the air. But she had 5, and then Aunt Paula posted on the Speaking of Zane Facebook group a couple of minutes before we went on the air that she also had 5. Aunt Paula thanked a Coast Guard vet, a Navy vet, 2 deputy sheriffs from different counties, and a disabled vet at Sam's. And bless your heart, Aunt Paula, she even helped him load up his purchases into his vehicle. How about that? Good job, Aunt Paula. So that was a total of 10. And guess what? With that 10, even with the 5, if Aunt Paula hadn't jumped in, we reached a new milestone of 800. We're at 805. So since we started this just a couple years ago, somebody from this group has told a veteran or a service member, thank you, 805 times. Not too shabby. I tell you, we should be proud of that. It's good stuff, and it's fun. It really is. And thank you guys for playing along with us. That's turned out to be a really nice challenge. Well, let's see. What do we have in the organizations category? Boy, I tell you what, watch the Speaking of Zane group, because anytime that Gary Sinise and the Gary Sinise Foundation does something good, which is all the time, I share it over there. What a great guy! What a great organization! He's been doing a lot of good stuff. Um, I mentioned the Carry the Load. Um, oh yeah, that's right, Jim. They have a East, a Central, and a West group. So yeah, yours is this week. Yours was today, May the 16th. Yeah, May the 16th. That's today. So it's happening right now in Omaha, I guess. I haven't tracked that one. Sorry. I know there was a Central one, and then of course I was watching the East Coast one. But good stuff. Yeah. So um, we've got all these different related events coming up that we'll try to keep everybody abreast of. And you probably saw me post in the Speaking of Zane group an update from my Warriors place. If you remember, it's founded and operated by our friend and Gold Star mother Kelly Cowell. Lori was just down there a couple weeks ago. It's turned into one of our favorite places, and she had an outstanding group of volunteers out there. I don't know, it was yesterday or Friday, but they did some amazing work. Um, in fact, let me share. Let me do that. Let me share a couple pictures while I've got you, and you can go to the Speaking of Zane group and take a look. But I might as well show you a few right here. The facility, if you recall, is kind of a retreat. It's kind of a respite for wounded warriors, for Gold Star families, for military members, for veterans, for law enforcement, first responders, anybody really that needs to come to a place and slow down and relax and kind of get their thoughts together. This is the place to do it. And Kelly has done a fabulous job. If you don't know the story, um, go back and watch a few episodes ago. We had her on. But this group came out there, laid some new pebbles and stuff along the walkways. This is in a little courtyard that is relatively new, couple years old now. But this gazebo here, my team in Florida, we put this roof on this gazebo, and then we put down all the underlay for these bricks and stuff on the two gazebos. We had an absolute blast out there when we did that. It's been over a year now. But these guys came out and did some more work out here, laying some, getting some grass, getting the place ready for some grass, and doing a few other things. Let's see if I can. There we go. Yeah, see there. Run those walkways between the other sitting area there. See the grass that's been laid there. So there's, let me go back and show a before. There's a before and an after. I need to do that in my yard. But I forget the name of this group. There they are. They're called Believes. Believe with Me. Believe with Me is the name of the group down there in Tampa. But I don't really know what they're all about. But they spun up a good team of volunteers and spent a day out there and got her done for Kelly. And just awesome to see. Kelly has the community behind her out there. She works her tail off to get the visibility and make sure that the awareness and everything. But I tell you, people rise to the occasion for things like this. And I'll tell you, anybody that ever gets down to the Tampa area, it's a must to stop in there and at least to see what My Warriors place is all about. And if you need, there's Kelly on the right. And if you need to get down there and clear your head with some fishing or water sports or just relaxing, that's call down there and book some time. You won't be disappointed. Just an awesome place. Let me get my cursor back over here. Anyway, I hadn't planned on spending that much time on that, but anyway, good stuff. I love to talk about good things going on, and that's certainly one of them. One of our favorite places. All right, we're getting toward the end here. Unfortunately, we always have to report when we lose someone, and we did this week. And I don't know all the circumstances, as is often the case, but there was a New Mexico National Guardsman called Juan Munoz, and he was unfortunately found dead in the river down there. And I don't know if they suspect foul play or if it was a drowning incident or whatever, but um, have his family in your thoughts and your prayers. Okay, I think that is it. Let me see. I've got some quotes down here I haven't read off in a while, and there's a few things that have stuck with me over the last couple of years of doing this, and they meant so much when I found them that I wrote them down, and every now and then I'll call them out. But the number one is from my favorite president, who I had the honor to serve under, Ronald Reagan. He says, "We can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone." Just brilliant. And we don't know them all, but we owe them all. That's certainly true. All these veterans that we say thank you to, and all these veterans that we go and pay our respects to at the cemeteries, we don't know them all, but we certainly owe them all. And how about being American worth dying for? There are people willing to die for this country. There's people willing to die. Why don't we be an American that's worth that? A lot of people need to hear that message, I tell you, in this country. How about this? Are you a positive influence on your immediate sphere of influence? Are you a positive influence on your sphere of influence? That's something to challenge yourself with every day. I wake up thinking that. Am I given or am I taken? Am I being a good example, a good influence in the sphere that I travel in? Everybody wants to say, yeah, sometimes you come up short. We're all human, but it's a good challenge for sure. Nothing is lost unless forgotten. Nothing is lost unless forgotten. Kind of goes along with, they say a person dies twice, once when they take their last breath, and then again when their name is no longer spoken. And that's how Speaking of Zane came about, is trying to do um, whatever I could to make sure that his name isn't forgotten. I tell you, Lori got a picture from Abigail, our daughter-in-law, Zane's wife, this week, and who we just adore and have a great relationship with. And she sent a picture of Colton, our grandson, our first grandson, Zane's son, and just it's a reminder. She sent it to all of us, and it said, um, this is one of the reasons that Zane will never be forgotten is because of this face, this smirk that his daddy had, and his daddy had it when he was a little boy, and always did have it. And there's certain poses that this little boy Colton strikes where it's just uncanny, how he looks like his daddy. And genetics are strong. He only was 4 years old when Zane passed, but he remembers Zane. He calls him his 4-year-old daddy. He has a new daddy now that's awesome, Will. He's in the Navy, and we couldn't ask for a better dad, and for Colton and Paisley. But anyway, just that's I don't know what made me get on that, but uh, um, nothing is lost unless forgotten. That's what got me on that, and that's what reminded me of that when Lori sent the picture and said, this is one of the reasons Zane won't be forgotten is that little boy right there. All right, Gary Sinise, I mentioned. Gary has one that I really enjoy. It's service is a great healer. If you have a broken heart, help someone else. Your whole life will be different. That's true. I mean, that's nothing profound. We've probably all run into that where, we're feeling down, we're feeling sorry for ourselves or something, and but we come to the rescue for someone else, or we go help someone else, and it kind of takes our mind off our own problems, which might even all of a sudden seem insignificant compared to those that we're that we're reaching out to. But anyway, good quotes there. None of them belong to me, but I love to quote them. So thank you for letting me do that. And I appreciate you guys joining. And sorry to be late today, but hey, flexibility is the name of the game, especially these days. But well, have a great week. I know we'll report on the activities from the cemetery on Wednesday. Maybe even do a live stream from there, or at least shoot some video and let you guys know what it was all about. Um, and then we'll look forward to seeing everybody back here again next Sunday night, normal time, 8:30 Eastern, for Speaking of Zane. God bless you, everybody. See you later.